Hi, and welcome to the 8th episode of Get Involved Pittsburgh. My name is Tom Baker. I'm very proud to be your host again on the show. Thank you very much for tuning in, either on your channels at channel 21 in the city of Pittsburgh, channel 47, or through online. And Get Involved Pittsburgh is a little bit of everywhere these days, so we very much thank you for turning in. We have a great set of guests today. We have 6 guests coming up in just a little bit. I want to give you a few quick updates. It's now the fall of 2011, and it was a great summer for Get Involved. We actually became our own nonprofit, 501c3. It's a very fun feeling when you start out. 3.5 years ago, Get Involved started simply as my first book, Get Involved, Making the Most of Your 20s and 30s. And to move to the point where we're now a 501c3, we have our service summit going on, Power Hour, Morning Mix. Our Fast Track Community Leaders program has graduated 21 participants. Things really well with Get Involved. And if you want to learn more about us, just check us out at getinvolvedinc.org. But I want to tell you all about the great guests that we have on here today. We have just a fantastic group. We have Miss Wheelchair USA, Miss Wheelchair America. Josie Badger is going to be with us on the show. Jay Spire is going to be with us. Al Borowski, Bonnie Budzowski. We have Dr. Eric Lauber that's going to be with us in just a moment, and Karen Litzinger. It's going to be a fantastic show. Hopefully episode 8 is going to be great, and we hope that you love it. And we're very proud as well to say a happy birthday to PC1, turning 25 years this fall, which is a great accomplishment. So congratulations to John Patterson and the whole staff and team here with PCTV 21. Things are going well with Big Brothers Big Sisters as well. As some of you know, I'm the VP of programs there. We serve over 1,100 children every year in the region. So if anyone watching at home is interested in being a big brother, being a big sister, or just potentially signing up your children. And we actually have a lot of kids that watch the show as well in the public schools here in Pittsburgh. And it's actually the biggest fan base, I think, are the students in the public schools. So if students, if you're watching, if you want to get involved as well, please just let us know. Our website is bbbspittsburgh.org. So lots of great things going on. Big Brothers Big Sisters was named as one of the top 18 programs for quality in the country, received the Gold Standard Award. So things are just going great. And welcome back. Episode 8 of Get Involved Pittsburgh. Our theme this episode is Speaking of Success. We've got a very successful woman up next. Bonnie Budzowski is with us here today. Bonnie, thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. President of Incredible Messages. You've been speaking all over the country, a 2-time president of the National Speakers Association, I believe, and former editor of Speaker Magazine. So lots of great credentials. Very, very happy to have you on the show here today.
Thanks.
Okay.
It was National Speakers Association Pittsburgh chapter.
Right,
that
absolutely,
I led
yeah.
twice,
Well, we're very proud in Pittsburgh, right?
We are proud, and I'm proud.
Very good. Well, why don't we start a little bit with Incredible Messages. Incredible Messages, if you can tell me a little bit about what Incredible Messages is, messages that you share with your clients and the crowds you speak with.
Sure. Well, if you look at my word Incredible Messages, it has in, but then it also has credible. And I think when people speak, the big thing that other people want to know is, are they credible, are they accessible, are they likable? And so I have a play on that word in terms of helping people to express themselves in a way that captures attention, that sells their ideas, and that moves people to say yes.
Right. And I know one of your big themes is how to get busy people to actually respond to your message. That's something that we deal with all the time. We send off emails, we make calls, and people are too busy sometimes to get back to us. I know that you're an expert on this. How do you recommend that people get busy people to get back in touch with them?
Well, I recommend that they think about their messages from their receiver's point of view. In other words, people really don't care when you say, hey, help me out, but they do care when you say, I can help you with one of your problems. And so I encourage people to build messages that focus on the other person's point of view.
Great. And I know another thing that you focus on is getting people to become experts at what they talk about. So I consider you an expert, Eric Lauber that was before, Jay Spire, Karen Litzinger, Al Borowski. We've got a lot of experts on here today. How do people become experts, though? I think a big theme that you share is actually writing and kind of developing your message that way. How do you recommend that people become experts about their content?
Well, to some degree, you become an expert by putting in your time, right?
Right, absolutely.
Putting in your time, and a great time to start is in your 20s. And then,
thank you. I agree 100% with that, right?
Get that education that you need, get the certifications that you need. The other thing is to really get involved in whatever association is critical to your profession. Belong to associations and belong at a national level and get involved. Read everything you can, and then as you begin to learn things, begin to write, because the more you learn, the more you write, the more you learn. And obviously, as you know, Tom, the more you teach, the more you learn.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we learn so much from other people. You're absolutely right. 20s and 30s for everyone watching at home, 20s and 30s. If you're in your 20s and 30s and watching the show, please make sure that you listen to Bonnie Budzowski and I and get involved and do things in the community. Bonnie, I want to touch on the magazine that you were the editor of, Speaker Magazine. I go to the Indy 500 every year, and everyone's reading different things there. I am literally sitting there with my Speaker Magazine.
Good for you.
Maybe a dork, I don't know. But tell us a little bit about Speaker Magazine and the work that you did with NSA.
Okay. Speaker Magazine is the national and even national magazine of the National Speakers Association, which is the premier association for experts who speak on any subject. And the managing editor position was a president-appointed one. And so I was asked to spend a year figuring out what's a good way to get information to professional speakers about how to do their job well, whether it's developing their expertise, as you said, or marketing or developing products and things like that. How do you get your message across? So I worked with lots of volunteer writers and the professional staff at the National Association.
It's a great magazine, and I don't care what people say. I love that magazine, Speaker Magazine. It's fantastic. So in this technological world that we live in, people are calling, people are talking to people in person, they're emailing. What is the best way to get your message across to somebody? Is it a combination of all those things, or how do we actually get people's attention?
It is a combination, but the easiest, first way is to ask somebody to say, hey, Tom, do you prefer if I contact you by email, or would you prefer if I give you a call? That is a simple thing that makes a big difference. But I suggest that you do both. You know, if you're calling somebody and you get voicemail and you can't figure out, how will I get this person to call? Say, hey, I'm going to follow up with an email just in case if you'd prefer to respond that way. So you kind of do, it's not offensive, but at the same time you give that person the opportunity. Right,
yeah, kind of give them the options. If they want to talk this way or that way, make it easy for them is definitely important.
And in today's world too, just to say, hey, I took some time and looked at your website, and I looked at your Facebook, looked at your LinkedIn profile, and let that person know you invested some time in
you were actually genuine about it. You wanted to get to know them. That's definitely very important. And following up afterwards is also very important. I'm sure that's part of your message as well, is keeping in touch afterwards.
Absolutely.
That's great. So Bonnie, I know that you've been speaking all over the place for many years. What are just the core messages, if you had to share with our viewers out there, what are just the core messages of a Bonnie Budzowski speech?
Oh boy, a core message of a Bonnie Budzowski speech is get to think about, as I said earlier, the other person's point of view. I mean, basically speaking, we are so busy that we're not interested in people telling us what they've accomplished and what they need and what they want from us, or even what they want us to buy. But when we go to people and say, hey, tell me about your world. Tell me what's giving you challenges right now. Tell me what you're excited about. And then we meet that person on that level, well, then all of a sudden you have a connection. And you have a connection, whether it's as volunteers in a community, whether it's as peers or whether it's, you know, you're a provider and someone else is a person you'd like to do business with.
Right. That's great. And just finally, I wanted to ask you, as I mentioned earlier, you were a two-time president of National Speakers Association, Pittsburgh, and I was not involved at that point. It was a couple of years back. But I would want you to share just a little bit about what does it take to lead a group successfully, maybe through NSA or other groups that you've been involved with. What do you think it takes to lead a group like NSA successfully?
Well, I think first it takes understanding the organization's mission, really thinking through and connecting with that organization on a big level, in this case a national level and even international level, and then working with a board of people and finding out what are their goals, what are their talents, where would they like to lead, and where do they have energy, and building a reciprocal kind of relationship between the organization and the people that are there. And then, of course, communicating.
Right, absolutely.
That would be my thing.
That's your
communicate
core message.
Clearly and often, concisely, with a deal of respect and appreciation for those who serve.
All right, great. Well, you were a terrific president. We've got our immediate past president that's going to be next on the show, Jay Spire, and our current president, Karen Litzinger. So we've got lots of NSA presidents. Al Budzowski, also one of our past presidents. So speaking of success, we're speaking to Bonnie Budzowski. Thank you so much for being with us. If you could just share with the crowd, how can they keep in touch with you and learn a little bit more about incredible messages?
Sure. I'd love to have people visit me at my website at incrediblemessages.com.
That's easy enough. All right. Well, thanks, Bonnie. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all that you've done as well. We're going to be back in just a minute with Jay Spire. We're having a great time here on Get Involved Pittsburgh, episode number 8. Thanks so much.